The U.S. swimming Olympic trials happened recently in a football stadium. When you look at how this is going together, they are doing this in the Colts stadium and they are laying out the pool, they're laying out the structure for the seating, and they're also laying out on the far side of this image a very large warm up pool, basically. And so, what you can see is the walls are going up. The main pool is on the right. Those vertical panels are going up with all the filtration equipment that they're then putting up on, sort of like how you might build a deck, actually. They're building this plywood platform on metal floor joists and then doing all the plywood and lining the pool and really building, a false floor that's probably about 10 feet above the main building floor. And then they're going through and filling the pool and sort of trimming it out. And you can see that here as they're putting all of the carpeting down and they're, finalizing all of the lighting and the display board and all that kind of stuff. And so looking at the before and after, you can see how they put the warm-up pool and the main pool on the side. It's interesting how far away the seating is from the main pool, but the result is pretty spectacular. And there's articles about how exactly this was put together, but the company that actually did it is a company that does this all over the world, all over the country. And it's also a time where the swimming trials were going on as LA was announcing their venues for the Olympics in 2028. And so it actually is funny because a lot of these types of tactics are going to be used in LA for the Olympics. In this case, you can see in the upper left, they're actually talking about using SoFi Stadium where the Chargers play as the venue for the pools in a very similar way. And there's all sorts of issues about the Olympics with permanent venues that basically fall into disrepair. But this type of tactic that the swimming trials was using, I was surprised to see it at that scale, but it's interesting to see how it's going to be something that is used sort of over and over in LA as well. And I love, at the bottom there, you see this rendering is for illustration purposes only. Thank you, attorneys, for putting that over the press release. But the use of temporary venues, whether it's for the US swimming trials or for the Los Angeles Olympics, is something that I think has a lot of power behind it, because you can bring these things to places that are really only activated for a short period of time, whether it's for a few weeks or a few days or a few months, and they become such really potent attractions for different areas and such these temporary facilities that are just become so popular, as opposed to building a tens of millions of dollar facility that has to support itself for 20 or 30 years. And so it's really cool to see the trials, how that was going. Knowing some swim coaches who actually were there, the feedback was that it was pretty electric in the building. And that's very cool to hear. So they're doing that for LA. That company is building these things all over the place. And so I think we'll be seeing more of that, but it seems like a really good way to really bring the focus to events and really make the most out of these temporary venues that can just be the best version they can be for that given time. You don't have to keep investing a lot of money to keep maintaining them over time. They just get to be this great event, this great facility for a short period of time, and then it's gone. And it goes back to being whatever else it used to be, whether it's a parking lot or a football stadium in that case or whatever. But hopefully that's interesting, and I'll see you in the next video.